This is an overview of the Sandbox. And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the Sandbox you'll be using quite a bit in GSow editing. Now you can go and edit a Wikipedia page. Just click on it and edit it. And if you're changing spelling or grammar or something like that, that's a live edit. What I'm going to show you is how to work on a page that's going to require a lot more thought, a lot more work, something that may be done over a period of days or weeks. And we use the Sandbox in GSow, and this is very commonly used for most Wikipedia editors as well. The Sandbox is located right here next to your login name. Obviously, you have to be logged in, otherwise it won't know whose Sandbox you're using. So you want to use your own Sandbox. Think of this as a blank piece of paper. So if you click on it, this is what my Sandbox looks like. It has my username and then the word Sandbox after it. Now, I don't see no blank piece of paper, but don't worry about that. I will create it by hitting the edit key. The Sandbox is your personal space to try out things, to experiment with things, to work on a project. It'll stay there indefinitely until you actually make it live. You can look at other people's Sandboxes, but it is not considered good form to do so if you're not given permission necessarily. I guess it's like a private space. In GSow, you will be sharing the link to your Sandbox. That's this link up here, this URL, with your trainer or with myself so that we can watch you progress and make suggestions on your page. And yes, we will edit on your Sandbox page because that's how we train. We give a lot of feedback. But generally, you don't want to be writing on an average Wikipedia editor's Sandbox. They call it cats scratching in the sandbox. Don't scratch in my sandbox kind of thing. So they may put on their talk page or their user page, don't mess with my sandbox. Anyway, in different languages, it is called different things, but it is almost always located right here on any language's any language Wikipedia. So I've clicked on it already. Here I am. And I'm going to hit edit. And there is my blank piece of paper. Now I can click on here and you can see this little area comes up here. And this is where you're going to be practicing different things. So we're going to be using the Sandbox for quite a few videos to show you how to do different kinds of things. Okay, so I can just type like normal. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone watching. I can type on there. That's really how it works. I can copy and use a Control-C, Control-V, and paste. Hopefully you've already watched the tutorial on how to copy and paste because you will be doing it all the time. If you haven't learned how to do copy, paste, and find, then you probably need to go back and look at the tutorial on how to do that. It's also in the training videos area because you will be using it all the time. So if I want to bold something, I would go like this and I would hit the bold button. If I want to italicize something, I would hit the italic button. See, this gives you 3, 3, and this one gives you 2, 2, and that makes it italic. And you're saying to yourself, where does it make it italic? Where does it make it bold? I don't see anything happening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here a little bit. See, I'm going to scroll a little bit further, and I'll just put in the edit area, hang around, the edit summary, and then I'm going to hit the show preview. And you're going to do this in this order all the time throughout your entire history as a Wikipedia editor. You're always going to write something in the edit summary. You're always going to hit show preview. And then when you like what it says and you've done it correctly, they're going to hit save page. And you will always do that. So I'll hit show preview. And it's going to give me a preview right here. It says Hello everyone watching. See how that's italicized? Hello everyone watching, and it's in bold. And it's telling me this is just a preview. And here's the area where I'm actually writing. If I wanted to keep this, then I would just hit save page like this. And there is my sandbox with writing in it. And it's telling me my edit was saved. Okay? I'm going to go back to edit, open it back up again. I'm going to take out, it should come back up here with that little box. I'm going to take out these little italics like this. So it took a second for it to come back out. And if I take these out, then it will just be normal. I'm going to hit preview. And you can see right here where it says, hello everyone watching, and that's normal. And then I left the italicized one up here. So you can keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you get to whatever it is you want to do. If you want to, we're going to be using some of these other areas on here, but on another video. What I want to make sure you understand is that a sandbox is an area for you to practice on. When you are writing a Wikipedia page and you're using a lot of Wikipedia editing, you need to do a lot of different things to the page, then you'll probably go and create a sandbox to do that. You may copy and paste it back on here. You may go to a page. Let's not pick Scientology. I can imagine that must be extremely long. Let's take Ray Hyman Wikipedia page, and once we're there, you can go in under edit, and then you can control A, which highlights everything. See that? And then I'm going to use control C. You can't see I'm hitting control C because I'm doing it on my keyboard. Control C copies everything, and it's going to copy all of this text. And then I can go back to my sandbox. See how I have more than one tab open? We do that a lot all the time as well. Let me get rid of these here real quick. I'm going to hit just delete on my computer. And I'm hit paste, which is control V. And here's all that text that was on the Ray Hyman page. All of it's there. So if I wanted to, I could hit I'd write something in the edit summary, but I'm not going to right now because I'm not going to save this. I would hit show preview. And then there's the Wikipedia page that I just copied. It's exactly the same page as I just copied from the Ray Hyman page, except this is now called /sandbox. And there's no bold editing on here at all. When you are working on a project in the beginning with GSow, you see how there's a area for me over here on the right-hand side to mouse up and down to drag and drop. And then there's also another little window over here that you can slide. Do you see that? There's two different sliding thingies here, so don't panic when you don't find it. So when you're working on a project for GSow, I want to look and see what changes you've made before you make the page live. And I can't tell what you've changed easily at a glance if you don't bold it. So what I'm going to ask you to do is if you go into a page and you start playing around with it and you make changes, while you're beginning, I want you to bold the changes you make. So let's say, just as an example, let's say this whole area over here you just added in just a few minutes ago. So what you would do is you're going to highlight all the things that you just did, and you're going to hit the bold key. And that just puts these three little dashes here and three little dashes down there, and it makes that section bold. So I'm going to come down here to preview, and then it should be bolded. See? So when you give me the URL to your sandbox and you say, Susan, I'm finished with my project that you wanted me to do, the thing you wanted me to add in, is it correct? I can at a glance look and see that that's bolded, and I can say, yes, that's correct. Go ahead and make it live. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come all the way down again, and you're going to go into the edit summary, finished my task, or whatever you want to write there. And then I'm going to hit save page. And then what I would do is I would take this URL, copy, which is Control C, and I would send the email to Susan or whoever your trainer is on the forum, and you would say, I'm done, I'm ready for it to be looked at. And then we're going to look at it, we're going to say, yes, that looks terrific, or no, that isn't quite formatted right, or I need you to change this or add this, so that way we can see your example. And then what we'll do is we'll tell you how to fix it, or we'll say that's perfect. And then if you're going to make it live, because they've said you did it right, you're going to go, oops, I'm sorry, I'm going back up to the top. Sorry, don't get dizzy. You're going to go back to the edit screen, and then you're going to find the spot that you just made bold, and you're going to unbold it. So all you got to do is take these little lines out. There's other ways of doing this too, so you may find another way, but this is an easy way. You're going to unbold that section, and then you would select all the page by hitting Control A, and then copy it by hitting Control C. You're going to go over to the Wikipedia page for Ray Hyman that you copied from. You're going to delete it. It's all gone. All the text is gone. And I'm going to paste in, using Control V, exactly the page that you wanted to have with the little change that you made. You only added a paragraph or so. And so the paragraph's there. There's no bolding or anything like that. And then you would just leave a little edit saying added, now citation from XYZ magazine. And then you're going to hit show preview to make sure you did it correctly. And you would look at the section that you added, this part right here, pretend you added that. And if you did it correctly, then you're going to save the whole page. And you just go down to where it says save page. So I'm going to save this page, even though I really didn't make a change on it. Now this is a page the summary you put in there, you're making this to a real Wikipedia edit. You're making it right to Wikipedia. So you should probably put something a little more serious than added citation to XYZ magazine. You really should put the magazine, okay? So if we look at the history of this page, we're going to see that I just made a page change. Nope, where'd it go? That's odd. History. Oh, because I didn't really make it change. Right, so don't panic, that's fine. Okay, anyway, so this is your sandbox. I'm going to wipe it clean by just deleting it, all the text that's on there. I'm going to write a note to myself, wiped. It wants to auto add what I wrote last time, wiped clean. And then I don't need to do show preview because I just wiped the page. I'm going to hit save. And now I have a sandbox that is empty waiting for me to come up with my next project. That's basically what we're doing. If you want to have more than one sandbox, you would right here like this, copy it, put it in search, put another line after the X and sandbox, and you could write whatever you want to write. You could write the name of the page you want it to be. You could write a number. You could write Donald Duck. You could write, 002 or whatever you want to put in there. You put that in there and you search for it, and it's saying that it does not exist, but you may create it. So I'm going to create it by clicking on it. See, it's that red font. And now I have a new Wikipedia page, Sandbox, that's named 002. So I can have an infinite amount of sandboxes if I want to have more than one project running at one time. So I'm going to say created new sandbox for the article I'm going to write on Dan Dale, wherever that is. Someday I will write this. And in the sandbox, you can make comments to yourself. Reading the book now, very interesting. Email this URL to Susan. I'm going to make that bold just so that I can remember that I need to do that. And it's just a little note to myself. So I'm going to come down here and say, created Dan Dale Sandbox. Then I'm going to hit show preview to make sure I did it right. And there it is right here. See this little box area right here. That's it, because it's not very much. And then I'm going to hit save page. And now I have a sandbox called 002. And I have a sandbox that's my normal sandbox. And I can click on here and get my normal sandbox. Now, if you want to find your other sandbox, the easiest way to do it would probably be over here to contributions, which lists everything that you've ever done. And you can see I've created a user page called Sandbox 002, created Dan Dale Sandbox. I could click on that because it's a hyperlink. And there it is again. So I can come in here and I can edit it. And I can move things around, add things to it. I can play around with the different things in here. I can add photos or links or comments to myself. I keep it as like a to-do list. Just found an interview with Dan, and I'm listening to it now. Remember to look in the wherever podcast link. Oops, one more. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Okay, added more notes. Remember, you're writing this to yourself. There's my summary. Hit show preview. There's my notes. I'm going to hit save page. Okay, so if you're getting this and you've got this, then more power to you. I'm trying not to go too slow, but then I don't want to go too fast. So if you need to stop this video at any point to try to explain yourself, to understand it better, that's fine. So here's my general sandbox, which may or may not have content in it. And then I have another sandbox, and I can keep creating sandboxes until I'm done creating sandboxes. All right, so that's a sandbox, how we use it, why we use it, who is supposed to write in it, who's not supposed to write on it, and then how I want you to submit your work to me, that is until you're finished training. Okay, thanks guys.